Hi, everybody. Kathy Goughenour here. I am the business coach and trainer for virtualexperttraining.com. And today I have the great pleasure of introducing you to two of the graduates of our virtual expert training program. You're going to love getting to know Becky and Keith Schneider. They are the co-founders of smartisticsolutions.com. And if that was a mouthful, well, just don't worry about it, because everything that you're going to learn today about these two is going to blow your mind on what they can do for you. So let's take just a minute, and I'm going to have Becky and Keith introduce themselves and share a little bit about their background and how they got started in this niche. And then I want to share my story with you about how they've helped me really get some amazing data to help me grow my business. So Becky and Keith, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, yeah, thanks for having us.
Hi, everybody.
So jump on in and tell us all about your background.
Great. So yeah, so I learned about statistics in college and kind of fell in love with social statistics or behavioral statistics. And so one of the jobs that I had out of college was at a market research firm where we actually met each other and started dating and then got married. And we worked there together. My specialty was survey design, project coordination, and yeah, kind of fell in love with market research and just research in general. And I'll let Keith tell you a little bit about what he specialized in.
So I had a strong interest in market research when I was in college. I can remember taking a market research class, and because it's very math heavy, I can remember that nobody seemed to like our teacher except for me. I seemed to be the only one, and it was just something I found very interesting. I've always liked statistics and numbers, and when I worked for that market research firm, I started out as a project manager and then grew into a role over time and ended up being the director over 3 different divisions within that particular firm. And I also came from a retail background. When I was in high school and college, I worked a lot of retail and was always given a lot of credit for the work that I did there and how I treated customers. And so customer service has always been something that's been really, really strong for me and really powerful to me. I'm the kind of person where, not only do I want to provide great customer service, but I demand great customer service. And I'm the kind of person where if I don't get it from somebody I'm working with, I will let people know. But by the same token, if I get great customer service, I also let people know. I will be a raving fan as much as I will say something bad about somebody. And so that's what really has driven me on my side to want to start this business. Is I want to help other businesses be the best forms of themselves. I want them to be able to provide services for their customers so that those customers become their raving fans, that they leave feeling like they got an excellent customer experience. And over the years together combined, we have more than 30 years of experience in market research. And we've seen all kinds of surveys over the years, and it seems like anybody can write a survey. It seems like it'd be something that's easy to do, but you'd be amazed at how many questions are asked in a way that's confusing to the respondent or doesn't give the person what they need when they're looking for the information back. And this is something where our years of experience is really designed to help with that. Our name Smartistic is a combination of smart and artistic, because it is both an art and a science to creating good surveys. And so that's really what we wanted to focus on. And I'll also throw in, Becky also has not only years of experience in developing surveys, but she also has a strong passion for, process improvement and helping organizations also improve upon themselves. So I think that combined, that's really what drives us.
So not only are you guys super smart, but you're also so nice. Like just sitting here looking at you while you're talking, Keith, I'm just like, look at the big old smile he has. How can you not want to work with you guys? You're just so awesome.
Hey.
And to me, that's part of customer service, like what you were talking about, Keith.
Yeah.
Making people feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I know you know all these big fancy words that you could throw around about surveys and about data and about questionnaire design, but you're not doing that because that's not the level that I'm at as someone who hired you. And that's not the level the majority of your clients are at, because they could be at that level. They could be big corporations, but they also could be online entrepreneurs like me who, and I'm just going to jump in and tell a little bit about my story and why I hired you guys and how that's gone. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when I met Keith and Becky, I had been using SurveyMonkey, and SurveyMonkey is a great thing to use for casual surveys. If you don't know how to do them, they make you seem like you know, because they provide some questions that you can use. But as I was using those and trying to get the data, I realized I didn't know what I was doing. And I was frustrating people by asking questions that was confusing. And I was frustrating myself by not getting the kind of data that I really wanted and not really understanding the feedback that I was getting. And fortunately, I had a coach who said to me, "So have you done customer surveys, client surveys?" And I said, "No, I gave up on that because I couldn't really figure out how to ask the right questions, and I couldn't figure out how to analyze the feedback I was getting." And I said, "But everybody loves my program. Everybody's getting great results." And she goes, "Really? What data do you have to support that?" And I said, "Anecdotal." And she said, "That's not good enough. You don't really know what's going on. And if you really want to grow your business the way I know you want to grow your business, you have to do this. You have to do this in a way that asks the right questions in the right way, where somebody knows how to analyze that feedback and they can provide that report to you." And at first I was like, "Oh dear God, I don't know how to do any of that. I don't want to do it. You know, I'm not a numbers person. I just like to train and coach, and I don't want to do all of that." And then I met you guys, and you told me that your expertise is in questionnaire design, in knowing those right questions to ask in the right way. You told me that you could analyze the feedback for me and then report it in a meaningful, easy to understand way that I would understand and that my target market would understand. And you also told me that you could consult with me on how to use that feedback in multiple ways to improve my customer service, to improve the training that I provide, to improve the results that people get. And also, and this, all of that excites me, and I don't know why this next one excites me the most. Yes, I do, because my passion is marketing. I love marketing. But I knew I could use it to improve my marketing, because one of the questions that I kept getting from prospects was, what percentage of people that go through your training actually succeed? All of them? Oh no, that can't be right, because yeah, this one didn't and this one didn't, but I didn't know that number. So after I started working with you guys, you developed that questionnaire. You started actually conducting the surveys. And I got my first quarterly report from you, and you guys went through it with me step by step. You presented it in this beautiful PowerPoint that I could literally take that information, plug it into the PowerPoint that I use to do my conversations with prospects, my webinars, and the information is so powerful now. And by the way, the other thing that I have learned is that you can't just make up numbers. Like, you can't just guess at what the numbers are. You actually have to have data to support it in order to be within the law. And now I do. Now I have those facts and figures thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for doing that for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that makes us really happy that, I mean, that's why we're here. We're here as, to support to entrepreneurs, to business owners, so that they can get this information and it helps them and it moves them in the direction that they want to go. So it makes us happy to help you.
I think what's also
thank you.
I think what's also important that, you pointed out what you're using surveys for. You're trying to collect information so that success rates, how successful are people? How successful is my program in helping people? A lot of times people think about customer surveys and they just think about satisfaction, which we also do. We can, if you provide a service, we can ask people, how they felt about those services and get that information as well. But you can do so much more than that. You can do what you're looking for, which is actually looking at the success of the program. You can do prospecting type surveys and actually talk to people about why did they choose you? Why did they not choose you? You can ask questions, either separate surveys or within the survey, about new programs or offerings you're looking to actually offer, and find out, are people willing to, do they want this service? Are they willing to pay for that service? There's all kinds of ways that you can use questionnaires and assessments to get information so that you can make data-driven results.
Wow. I just thought of a whole bunch more things I could do. Every time I talk with you guys, I'm like, oh, that's another great idea. Let's do that one. Which is a great reason why I highly recommend anybody who is wanting to grow their business with good data in order to know the reality of what's happening in your business. Don't just guess like I did. Yeah, they're all happy. Nobody's complaining. Well, just because they're not complaining doesn't mean they're happy. That's what I didn't realize. So if you are listening to this and you think, wow, I might need to talk with them, I highly recommend that you reach out to Keith and Becky and schedule a consultation with them. Do you guys offer a free consultation?
We do, yep.
And how can people get a hold of you to schedule that?
The best way, honestly, is info@smartisticsolutions.com, which is also on our website. So if you went to smartisticsolutions.com and went to the contact page, there is a place where you can fill out a form and it'll send us that information. So that would be the easiest way to get a hold of us. Or we're also part of your Facebook group, so anybody can reach out to us directly through Facebook. We're happy to set something up that way as well.
Okay. And I will share the link to your website in the comments, in the notes section, wherever you happen to be watching this video. I want to talk just another minute about what people might want to, why people might want to reach out to you for consultation, because this is why I did. I didn't know what I didn't know about surveys, about questionnaires, about feedback and how I could use this. All I knew is that my coach said, you need to have surveys. You need to get this information. And so when I scheduled a consultation with you guys, you asked great questions about what did I really want to find out. You didn't ask me what kind of questions I wanted to ask. You asked me what I wanted to know, what I wanted to measure, the information I was looking for. And based on my goals, you then were able to give me recommendations on the types of surveys we should do, how frequently we should do them. And after we had this great consultation where you gave me tons of ideas, then I was like, yes, let's do this. And then you guys put together a process that was so easy for me. I mean, really, I didn't have to do anything. You guys do it all. And I was just talking with somebody who said, I was bragging about you just before this. And he said, do they analyze the feedback? Yes. Do they provide reports? Yes. Do they actually come up with the questions? Yes. Oh, they do it all. I said, yeah, they do it all. They help you figure out what you should even be doing a survey on and who you should be asking and how frequently you should be asking and at what point in their process through your company you should ask that question. And he's like, oh, I got to talk to those people. So if that sounds like you, if you are just really curious in what can they do for me, even though you might not really know right now what that is, I highly recommend that you take them up on their free consultation, because it will open your eyes to all the possibilities of what a really well-designed questionnaire can do for you and what getting that feedback can do for you. So I have one more thing that I want to share about something that I got from the reporting that you've given me so far. And by the way, I love that we're going to do this reporting ongoing, that I'm going to get ongoing feedback. I had in my training program, I had a particular couple of sections that I felt were challenging to people, and it was holding them back. And I couldn't figure out where that was, and I couldn't figure out how to change that. So Keith and Becky are asking questions in a way that will help me identify where those sticking points are, where those roadblocks are in the program I already have developed, and how I can continue to improve it. And that's my goal. My goal isn't just to make money. Of course, I like to make money because I like to have a nice lifestyle. But I also truly, like I know you who are listening to this, I truly want to help people. And the way to do that is to provide the best service, the best training, the best coaching, the best product, whatever it is that you have that really fits the needs of your target market. And Keith and Becky can help you figure that out, what that is, what people really want. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, we, when we develop a questionnaire, that's exactly, you hit it. I mean, you describe it so perfectly, because that is our process. Whenever you design a survey, you have to start with the end result first. You kind of do it backwards, because if you don't know where you're going, or you don't know where you want to end up, you don't know how to get there, so that survey is built on kind of identified where you want to go, where you want to end up. And we talk about the thing, we have this list of things that we kind of think about of when should businesses come talk to us? At what point in their business should people come talk to us? And do you want to go into that list of kind of our bullet points of when people should come talk to us?
Well, so there's different reasons why people might be utilizing a survey. So, they might want to use it for process improvement. And so if they want to use a survey for process improvement purposes, then we can design a survey in a way that's going to find out what people think of you. If you want to use it for marketing purposes, like you had talked about, you can utilize the information to be able to pull data and numbers out. So, and it gives you clout with your prospects, so that they know, okay, they actually have numbers behind it. You're in a way, you're proving your concept. Like I mentioned before, if you have new services that you're thinking about offering, that's another a route that you could be going. So really, companies at any time really could be utilizing the services. I spoke with my brother-in-law. He owns a business, and he talked about when he first started out, money was very challenging for him. He didn't have a lot of money to spend on other businesses to help him with all kinds of stuff. He was just trying to pay his bills and pay his people, the few employees he had each month. So he really didn't have a lot. But he said, in any good business, you reach a point to where you kind of hit a plateau, and you need to take that next step. And taking that next step, that's the perfect time for somebody to jump into doing these sort of assessments. If you want to be able to jump in right away, if you're able to do it, I think that the return on investment is there, because the objective is we're trying to help companies retain their customers. If you've got ongoing customers that you're providing services for, our main objective is to make sure you're providing services so that you retain them. Because it costs anywhere from 5 to 25 times, that's a statistic for you, and that's actually from the Harvard Business School, 5 to 25 times more expensive to get a new client than it is to just retain an existing client. And so if you think about, if you can save 1 or 2 additional clients, keep them on an extra year longer than what you had previously, the amount of money you've saved and not having to turn your focus into becoming a salesperson for your business and getting new business, that more than pays for the services that we're providing. But ultimately, really, if you are at that level where your business has kind of hit a point to where you're not growing much more and you want to take that extra step, this is all information that you can gather to help you kind of take that leap into the next step.
Yeah, and to go back again to that question design, we had a client who talked about that. He was using Google reviews, and we talked to a lot of prospective clients, and they talk about, Google reviews works great for me. And we talk about how Google reviews is just a 1 rating. And so if you're trying to use that rating to improve on your business, you don't know what it is that they're rating you on. It could be anything. It could be the billing. It could be your communication. It could be, it could just be a host of things. You just don't know. And so the advantage of having a questionnaire built is that you get to ask we build it that way. We build it so it asks about very specific things so that this is the one thing I need to work on. Even to the fact to where we may even ask for your clients' opinion on what could, how it could be improved. So your clients are kind of a repository of information regarding what improvements to even make. And so, I think that we come from a place of where Google reviews are great and people use those. And we just say you should use surveys in addition to using Google reviews.
Yeah, it's certainly not a replacement. And we actually use a system that we can take people who, if they give you positive reviews for the survey, we can actually, as part of the survey, invite them to add a Google review as well, or whatever type of review site they want to go to. We can actually boost that there as well. So it's something that works in conjunction with review sites. It's not a replacement of that. We certainly are not saying that those things are not useful. They're very useful for marketing because that's one of the first places people will go. People who want to buy a service or buy a product, they will check you out online. And if you have Google reviews, they'll look at that. And some of the things I like to point out to people is that unless you are actively campaigning to get people to give you Google reviews, many companies have a very small number of reviews. And the challenge with that is, it could turn people off. They may not trust the reviews because you only have 5 reviews, for example. But the bigger issue is that imagine if just one person decided to give you a 1-star review and what that does to your average. If you have 100 reviews, that may not hurt you. But if you've got 5 reviews, one 1-star review will absolutely destroy your rating, and it will take you a long time to dig yourself out of that hole. And so, for starters, they're not completely truthful of the full experience. And secondly, we actually can try to help boost some of those reviews as well through the survey site and boost some of the positive reviews specifically.
See, here I am learning again. I'm interviewing you guys and learning while I'm interviewing you. I had no idea that you could do that. You could help get those reviews. And I really don't even understand exactly how important Google reviews are. Could you guys talk a little bit about that? What's the importance of a Google review?
So any type of review site, you have to think about somebody who is looking for services from a particular company. If they don't know you by name, they're just looking for whatever services you provide, then they may just Google for those services. And there's going to be a list, just like in Google, there'll be a list of companies. And underneath each of them, if you have Google reviews, it will give you your star rating in Google reviews. And so you might be number 1 that pops up on Google, but if your average score is 3.5 out of 5, and the one right below you, even though they're below you, has a 5.0, people are going to jump to the 5.0 because they've got better reviews. And I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but when I was researching a lot of statistical data, like the how much more it costs to get a new customer, I came across something that talked about the percentage of people that rely on Google reviews. And don't quote me on the exact number, but it was somewhere around 80% of people will go to a review site before they purchase something. And in actuality, if you do have negative reviews, because negative reviews, a lot of people will look at those and say, I don't want any negative reviews. But again, if you have a small number of reviews, you may not have any negative reviews. But if you've got hundreds of reviews, you're going to have some negative reviews. People will actually they will actually go to the negative review and read the negative review first to find out.
I do.
Exactly. And so what we'd like to be able to do through the survey is if we can help you improve as an organization, not only can we help try to minimize the number of negative reviews you are getting, and also give people an outlet, because honestly, most people, they just want their voice to be heard. It's not that they necessarily want to, hurt your business or tell people how awful you are. They just want to be heard. And if you give them another avenue to be able to do that through the survey, give them a chance to explain what the issue was, a lot of times that's going to be good enough. So it can remove or it can reduce the number of negative reviews you have. And those that you still have, hopefully will be, minor insignificant things, people who just aren't going to be happy anyways, because I'm sure you've read negative reviews. Some of them are like, that's a legit complaint, but some of them you can tell are like, that's just a person venting. I don't agree with that.
Right.
And so hopefully it can help you with having your negative reviews be limited more to the ones that you're going to get, you can't do anything about, and eliminate some of those that you could have done something about.
Yeah. In a private way, because the survey is private, it's confidential, it's not public. So yeah.
It's also important because you talked about how when you were talking to your coach and you had said that, I think everybody's doing wonderful, and are you sure about that? What proof do you have with that? And the bottom line, there's a lot, that sentiment that you had, that's a very common sentiment. I've talked to a lot of business owners that they say, I have a pulse on my customers. I know exactly how they feel. And my initial response to that is that might be true to some degree, but people by nature are non-confrontational. And so
that's right.
You could have a business where you serve all of your best friends, and if your best friends don't like something that you did, they're probably not going to tell you about it because they want to keep you happy. They want to keep you happy. So they're just not going to bother telling you something that could be improved. But telling an independent third party about that sort of stuff, they're much more likely to be open and honest with that feedback. And so that's another huge advantage of being able to not even just doing surveys, but actually hiring somebody to help you do those surveys and send those out on your behalf. Because not only may we write better questions than you might write or help you get data that is understandable, but hopefully you'll get better participation and more honest feedback as well.
And I know for sure that I have, because once I started thinking about this and talking with you, I realized, oh yeah, they're not going to tell me because they want to please me. They want to stay in my good graces, which is nice, but it's not helping me. Right. And they don't want that confrontation. They don't want that conflict. Right. So they're just going to say, oh yeah, I love it. It's fine. It's good. It's nice. All of that stuff.
That story that Becky was talking about, the client that we work with that had a customer, she was an ongoing customer of theirs, and one day they noticed that she left them a 1-star review on Google. And when he called to follow up with her to find out what was happening, she actually said, oh, I'm very happy with the services that you provide, but there was this one thing that I wanted to do some extra it was a landscaper. She wanted some extra landscaping work done, and she wasn't happy with how long it took for them to get her a bid on this extra landscaping. She was perfectly happy with everything else, but she said, I wanted you guys to know that I was unhappy with this, and I didn't know how else to tell you. So she gave them a 1-star rating on Google. And so this is the sort of thing where now in a public forum, and that's an exact example of where if they would have done a survey where she could have rated them on 10 different items, she probably would have given them highest ratings on 9 of the 10, and then just gave them a bad mark on the 1, could have commented on that one area, and then they would have known what was going on. Because he fully, he took responsibility, and that's important to know too, that if a customer does feel negatively about something, take responsibility for that and understand that, the customer, to some degree, the customer is always right. Even if some people want to say they're not always right, but to some degree they are. So, you have to take that and say, there was something that made them unhappy. Does that mean you need to overhaul your business? Maybe or maybe not necessarily, but you need to know about those things so that if it is something you can improve upon, you can make sure you don't let whatever that was happen again.
Really, really wise, because what I found in working with you guys is there's lots of good news. There's more good news than bad news. Yeah. And as I shared with you, even if I had gotten bad news, I wouldn't have been upset, because then I would have known, oh, I really have a lot of things I can fix to continue growing. And now I know there's a few things I can fix to continue growing. And I am sure we are going to discover more. And I'm excited about that, because then I'm not just plateauing anymore. I am continuing to grow.
Yeah, we talked about that too, about how you're going to get a positive result out of doing this type of feedback, regardless of what your scores are. Because if your scores are, if you have a lot of negative things, you can do the process improvement side of things and make your business better. And if you have all positive scores, you've got valuable marketing information. So no matter how you look at it, no matter what your scores look like, you're going to find value out of the feedback you get back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was actually, even after talking with you, even after going, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. Still, when you gave me the report and we went through that feedback, you could tell that I was surprised, in awe, excited about all the information.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is very powerful, those numbers. And by the way, Keith, I just did a webinar this week where I shared that stat that you're talking about. 82% say that they would read reviews online and trust those more than asking their friends and family for their opinion. 82%. Isn't that mind-blowing? But then I think about me and I think, what do? I'll tell you right now, I don't ask friends and family. I read the reviews. So, yeah.
And again, the surveys are not meant to replace the reviews. They're meant to go hand in hand with the reviews. And so we're not saying that this information, you can just forget about reviews, do the surveys, and now you can, because if you sent something out that said 95% of our people are satisfied and your reviews contradict that, people don't trust the reviews first. So obviously, there is value in those reviews.
That's right. That's right. So I just, heads up, I'll be talking to you about this review stuff.
Okay.
Because I haven't been doing anything about this and I didn't even realize I needed to be. So I'll be talking to you guys about that next.
Perfect.
So is there anything else? Oh, you know what? I had one more thing that I wanted to comment on that you said, which, is we all know that it costs more to bring in a new customer than it is to keep your current customers. Just to share some my own personal experience, it costs me a lot more to bring in a new customer than the lifetime value of my customers. And with the help of doing these questionnaires, I'm learning how to keep those customers happy longer and how to keep them renewing memberships longer, how to keep them up leveling into higher level masterminds and other things that I offer longer. And I make, in my revenue, I make a lot more. A lot higher percentage of my revenue comes from ongoing customers than from new customers. So I'd be out of business if not for those ongoing customers. I love new customers. I'm excited to have new customers. I want new customers. But those ongoing customers, those are the ones that, even when all I had was like a $67 membership, I was still making more from my ongoing customers than I was from new ones. And that just absolutely shocked me because I'm like, $67, how is that adding up to make me more money? But over the years, I've literally had people in my membership for up to 11 years now. And that really adds up month after month after month.
Yeah.
So yes, that is incredibly powerful and can make a huge difference in your bottom line.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you want to share?
I would say one of the things that I would challenge anybody who is maybe on the fence, obviously if there are people who are thinking, ooh, this would work great for me, we would love to hear from you. If you're really skeptical, that, we understand that too. But if there's anybody who is on the fence and you are already conducting your own surveys and you're thinking, I'm not sure if it would be any better than what we're doing, in addition to a consultation, we're happy to take a peek at any questionnaire that somebody is currently doing and give a little bit of advice on what we see out of that questionnaire. And hopefully out of that, you can see that we will bring some value, and if all you take from it is you want to change your survey to some of our recommendations, then that's great, so be it. But, if you see the value and you want to, utilize us for more than that, then that would be great too. But anybody who is not sure, we would be happy to take a peek at any surveys you might be conducting already and just give you a little bit of feedback, kind of as a proof of concept that, we do really understand not only what's going to give you valuable surveys, but also what's going to make sense to the respondent and what's going to result in higher participation overall. Because the last thing we want to do is have people taking a survey that's frustrating to the respondent, because nothing gets them to jump out of the survey faster than being frustrated. You know, a good example of that is you'd be surprised the number of people that think open-ended comments are the best way to go. There's value in open-ended comments in their place. But if I get a survey that's got 20 open-ended comments, I'm done after about 2 questions. I'm like, oh, bye, see ya.
Me too. I can't tell you how fast I'm off of those.
Especially
or if they make them optional, I don't answer any of them.
Yeah, and look at the number of people taking surveys on their phone. Like, who wants to type all that on their phone, especially? So all things to consider.
Yeah.
Well, you two are just a gold mine of information on this topic, and I really appreciate you spending this time with me to share your information with everybody. And if you haven't already gotten the message, I highly recommend Keith and Becky Schneider and their smartisticsolutions.com business. You're not going to be sorry if you take just the time to have a consultation with them to find out if they can help you. I know they can. They've helped me tremendously. And by the way, don't be booking up all their time, because I'm taking it.
We'll always have a pocket of time for you, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing all this information today. And I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us. Yeah.